Hello, everyone. This is Roman, Amazon seller, promoter of a proper Amazon metric processor. It's a good day today. I spent the whole weekend scouting Twitter, X, about the what's going on with Amazon these days, and I had a really good idea what should I talk about today. So what's happening right now on Amazon is that Amazon is rejecting to accept the credit card payments for the advertising, and lots of people complaining about it, which is fine, yeah, which is understandable. I agree. I complain too, but at the same time, we are living in a world of stagflation these days. If you haven't noticed, right? The output doesn't. The output of the economy is not cohesive with the inflation that we're all facing, meaning that the credit money are not welcomed anymore. The only cash and debit money only welcome. But anyway, in more on that in the detail. So, what I wanted to talk about today is to show, in a nutshell, to show how the marketplace selling works. This is for those who don't understand and don't do the marketplace selling, and specifically for the sellers who kind of understand how it works, but doesn't take the full advantage of it, right? So I have a pretty nice diagram here of how not Amazon, any marketplace selling works. You have your inventory, then you make a sales, and those sales, those money from your sales are hitting to your marketplace account. So all of the money are sitting in this bucket. And on a specific day, depending on the marketplace will disperse the money to your bank account. Simple, right? But there is a huge problem with that. The problem is the following. So since let me take the blue. So for example, you make sales, right? And this tank of marketplace accounts starting filling out with your money, right? Fair. And you would expect that this money will go to your account. True, but throughout the money flows through a little holes, like here, for example, they go to your account, right? But the hole that leaks the money to the seller's bank account is on top of this bucket. On the lower point of this tank there are other holes. I would call them holes, because Amazon or any marketplace, they need to pay the fulfillment fee, the referral fee, the storage fee. So they need to pay to the people who deliver, to sustain the fulfillment center, to pay for electricity and all of that. And those expenses are first to pay, meaning that these fees, these leakages from the tank are first to cover. So you're filling up the tank, and Amazon takes all of this money first, and only after you reach the point here, Amazon will disperse money to your bank account. I mean, Amazon doesn't explain it like this. I specifically explain it like this so that people would understand that the bank account of the seller is not a priority here, because at this day and age, to produce something is not as expensive as to sell something, and especially fulfill something. That's why the marketplace take all of the fees first. So we have a problem here, right? You like selling and collecting money on your account, but you like lost to get them. So the sellers, what they do, they very often trying to find the ways to put badges to those like holes, so that the tank will fill up and they will get the money. How did they do that? They can use the credit cards. So essentially what happened is Amazon sellers, us in particular, and like lots of the sellers who has the ability to cover the advertising expenses with a credit card, they do that. So they put a badge on those holes to make the disbursement more. Why? Because they have a grace period, because they have cashback, because of their free tickets and whatnot, like lots of perks. So Amazon from the 1st of August will not accept that. It's no longer. Why? There's no explanation why, but again, meaning the fact that bearing in mind the fact that we live in this taxation, I assume that lots of the credit card holders became insolvent, and the banks, instead of seizing the assets of the holders of this credit card, they starting like charging money to the services that Amazon have. Like, for example, this guy went and sold it, but he deserves money to this account. Now we have it. Anyway, I don't know. It's my assumption, because I live an idea and a presupposition of the every business and marketplace is a node to facilitate economy, and the goal of this node is to protect the node by any cost. So banks protecting their node, then Amazon saw the batch and said, all right, screw it. We're no longer accepting it. We're gonna like lick the money from the tank directly, because it's more secure. They already have the money, right? Okay. So if you think about this, and if you especially face this kind of a problems when you have not super cohesive time payments with your credit cards, disbursement from Amazon. Jesus, I'm busy. I'm sorry. If you think about it, essentially what's going to happen that the sellers in particular, they need to understand those kind of a time frame of those payments and amount of those payments. In other words, since the Amazon sellers or any marketplace seller doesn't incur those costs directly, the success of the Amazon seller boils down to the ability to tame the time value of money. So what is a time value of money? All right, I just put it in the simple terms. For example, let's assume you brought $100 in a bank, and the bank gives you 10% return in 1 year. So in 1 year you got a 110, right? Straightforward, easy. There's a little formula here. You like put here 10%, 1 year here, and you get like 110 next year. This is the time value of money. And it works the other way. You can reverse engineer that kind of approach and thinking, I want to get the like $110 in 1 year, and I have an option to put for like in a bank for 10% for 1 year. How much should I put? You just reverse engineer the formula, get the answer 100. So this is the time value of money. But not all of the people who are facing that kind of an issue, they think about it. But if you face this kind of a leakage of money that you have, that to sell the stuff is not easy. It's hard. So you sell stuff, you do the hard job, you get all of the revenue, like 100K here, and they just sit there. And you get thinking like, okay, I got 100K on my account, but I have zero on it. They just sit there until I get them, but they for zero. I'm essentially like losing money, right? So the sellers are losing money, keeping the marketplace account high. So what they do, they're trying to find all of the ways to use this money. The options how you can use this money are shrinking. Now the credit cards are gone, but Amazon still gives the opportunity, or any marketplaces also gives the opportunity to use this money to pay for the customs, pay for the freight forward. So if the seller has ability to use those money, they should do it. Why? Because they sit there at 0%, essentially losing money. Okay, and if you live in this situation for a long time, you got questioning of it's super hard to manage all of that unless you know how much of a margin I have over here and how to track it. So if you use the credit card a lot, they give you like a grace period for like a month or two, but still they have interest. They have their margin, and it's like, let's say 30%. So unless you pay off this on time, you got a 30%. So you need to know how much of a leverage of a credit money you can sustain, because there is a credit money, there is like cash money that you have on your account. And unless you know the margin, and unless you know the proportion of the credit money, you're signing yourself into like really bad situation where your credit money are charged with a higher interest of your margin of your product that you're currently selling. So in other way of thinking, margin of your store is a rate of output rate of your money printing machine within a specific time frame. Yeah. So your inventory costs you like, I don't know, $80. You sell it for 100. Okay, $20 is your margin, like 25%. And you better know that. I know that my example is super simple, but you better know that so you can manage all of this money issue here more effectively, because sometimes it's unbearable. Because Amazon has like unlimited list of how much fees they can charge you with, and you better track on that all the time. And sometimes it's unbearable, but it's part of the game, right? You need to know that. And the last thing that I want to tell you about the time value of money. So think about it this way. Amazon is a node. The bank holders of the credit card issuers, they is a node. You is a node. All of you different businesses, you are the nodes that are printing money, essentially. You're providing a service for a margin, right? And some of those services are funded with initial cash or leverage with a credit, right? And this credit is accounted and maintained through time value of money. So the interest that you got on your credit card, the interest that you got on your business loan, and stuff like that, they are all ruled by the time value of money. So if you think about it too long, you will get the idea that on a credit-based economy, the time value of money is one of the crucial tools that keeps the economy stable. Because I owe to the bank, Amazon owes me, then I owe to the supplier owes to the raw material producer, and stuff like that. You see what I'm going? So we all gonna keep the economy stable just because we know subconsciously that there is a liability, and this liability is someone's asset, and they're ruled by time value of money. I mean, I don't want to go into like deep into that, but just give you an idea that business is not easy, but it's simple and it's cool. And the last thing that I want to tell you is that you can, again, just repeat that again. The success of the e-commerce business boils down to effectively manage the time value of money. And once you know it, once you understand it, once you know your output rate of your printing machine, once you know like how much like you owe to the bank or to the credit card holders or whatnot, you can use this knowledge as a leverage over your suppliers. Why? Because most of the suppliers, the primal goal is just to keep the output. I mean, they need to have the factory going, and if you work with them like 6 months, 9 months, like a couple of years, you actually can come to them and say, all right, we're doing business like for a couple of years already, and I'm buying like a bunch from you. Let's negotiate a term where I can pay you by installment, right? So use the same formula and negotiate the term of how much you can pay by installment them, meaning that you could save just a little bit of a percentage if the supplier agrees on the terms. Because I tell you a little secret, most of the suppliers have no clue about time value of money. They don't understand that, so just go and say like, okay, I'll pay you like this 100,000 in 3 months, right? Okay. And lastly, just a little hook to the next tutorial that I'm going to make. This whole issue creates a situation where sellers can deceive themselves because, yeah, they got the revenue sits on an account, the Amazon or any marketplace, they charge the fees, and you kind of like already have the money in a sense, but factually you don't. So there are two versions of accounting that you may incur, is like accrual-based accounting and cash-based accounting. Spoiler alert, in the IRS, you most likely fill up the cash-based accounting because it's fair. Because this money, they're like, they're somewhere, but they're not yours yet, so who cares, right? So you're gonna manage only the accounting, money that you have on your bank account. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Give your comment of what I just said, if you liked it or not. My name is Roman. We at ProPamp.AI have all of the tools that helps you to track down all of the expenses, all of the disbursement, and essentially we have the two ways of accounting, so feel free to use it or share to anyone who'd be interested in. No credit card, no nothing needed for the first 2 weeks. Okay, thank you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.